Welcome to South Texas High School Baseball. I'm Javier Guzman. Today, this is episode 4 or 3?
I think this is 3.
3 because we cropped out the first 2, right?
Yeah.
So today we got Xavier Perez. He's a Texas State college baseball player. He's going to be a two-way player for Texas State Bobcats this coming year of 23 and 24. And then we have Marcus Zarate, of course, my partner. And would like to welcome you to the show. It's been a while. We've been trying to, with our schedules and so forth, we've been trying to get some people on the show, but it's been kind of rough a little bit. But we got Xavier here today. He's going to talk a little bit about baseball, his life, what he plans on doing in the future, and me and Marcus going to join him, and that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, pretty much it. No, not much else to it.
Yeah.
Before we jump into that, you just dropped your son off at college. How you feeling?
Oh man, that's the third time already.
Yeah.
I don't like the moving, but we had a little accident there with the trailer and stuff. But man, hey, it's he got there safe. But now he's ready. I think he leaves Friday as well, like Xavier, and then they'll be starting up. He'll be starting up his junior year, so he'll be at Texas Westland. So and then
great.
So yeah, man. So that's it's gonna be a tough trip to go see him play, but you got to make it happen, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Well, good.
So, Xavier, tell us a little bit about you to start off the show. What school you attended, where you're from, where you're at, your age, and your major in college, and so forth.
I'm Xavier Perez. I've been playing baseball since I was 3 years old. I'm from here in Corpus. I went to Veterans Memorial High School, and I'm now playing baseball at Texas State University, and I'm also majoring in mechanical engineering.
So, saying in bets, you were not only a baseball player.
Right.
You're a multi-sport athlete. I know. I saw some. Oh, I follow your dad. I'm good friends with your dad. You're a pretty good basketball player as well. So, what decided that or even football? I remember you got an injury too.
When I was younger, yeah.
So you're like, okay, that's done.
Yeah.
So I mean, did you, like you say, you enjoy playing basketball? Do you kind of regret maybe not finishing your high school career playing basketball, or did you just say, baseball is my future?
Man, I mean, I loved basketball growing up. I played all the way throughout middle school. Almost the same as I did baseball. And so, the only thing was my dad always told me, there's no Mexicans in the NBA.
Yeah.
So
that comes to everybody.
Right. You reach a certain point where it's like, I'm probably not gonna make it there. I got a better future in baseball.
Right.
I loved basketball though.
But you're what, 6? You're over 6 foot.
I'm 6 feet. Yeah. So I loved it, man. I mean, I had a great time. I was always in shape because of it. I could move great left and right. I ended up playing my sophomore year in high school, but
I remember seeing you in a playoff game in Alice.
Yeah.
That
was my senior year.
Oh.
So my sophomore year I played, hurt my ankle pretty badly. So I was out for the rest of the season. Didn't play my junior year because I didn't want to get hurt again. And then my senior year, during Christmas break, I went to go play open gym with a lot of the other high school basketball guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, man, I really miss this. So I texted the basketball coach and I was like, hey, is there any way, I could join the team? He said, come to practice on Monday and we'll see. He had never seen me play before, so he was pretty skeptical. And then I ended up playing. I ended up making the team, and then I ended up being a power forward, though. I couldn't handle the ball anymore. I hadn't played in so long.
Yeah.
I had always been a guard.
Yeah, so you got a skill.
So I was like, whatever. I'll be a role player. I'll just, go in there, get my rebounds, make my layups, the simple stuff in basketball. I'll get my running in, and, man, I had a blast. My senior year,
How did Coach Yeager feel about you playing?
Oh yeah,
I remember.
I also remember him playing a playoff game, and then he went to Laredo Border Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. So when I called Yeager, he was fine with it. He's like, man, I'm not gonna tell you what you can and can't do. If you feel it's gonna make you a better athlete, then go for it. I remember. I mean, he was a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind
of tense a little
because
bit
I had gotten hurt the last time I had played. But he was fine with it. He wasn't gonna. Say that I couldn't do it. He said, as long as you're gonna be, the same player, during season.
So you would have to split reps with basketball and baseball, or did you just wait till basketball was over?
So there was a little bit of overlapping, towards the end of basketball season when we got into playoffs, and.
But you were hitting on the side, or
I was still going to baseball practice. I I'm trying to remember. I think.
And that's kind of tough too when you talk about, because bigger schools sometimes they kind of don't allow that. Really, they're like you're gonna play baseball,
common.
you're playing baseball, But that's pretty good when your coaches work together and collaborate on that, right?
Right. I mean, I loved it. I think I had two of the best coaches here in Corpus. My basketball coach was awesome too, man. He's a really great guy. Coach White there at Vets.
Yeah.
So and speaking of that, not all baseball players are just baseball players. They're athletes.
Right.
Some guys, a lot of them play football, but it's very rare when you do from basketball to baseball because it overlaps, like you said. But and talking about that, X. So I remember, when we were little, even Jacob played with you, and his dad. They called his dad and Chris Bernal. They started when his select ball started getting travel ball huge in Corpus, so they're called the Biscuits, the Corpus Christi Biscuits. I remember that. And we're in T-ball, and X and Jacob and Dalen and all those guys played together, man. I remember those were good times, and that's kind of where you started. Talk a little bit about that. Your dad got you into that, and you started loving the game, I'm sure, and just went from there, right?
All right. The earliest memory I have of that is.
I got a picture.
Yeah, we went to practice at some park here in Corpus, and meeting all these new guys, and I remember meeting Chris Bernal,
right?
And he's still playing with me today at Texas State, which is I've met some of my closest friends.
And Dalen.
Yeah, and Dalen.
Yeah.
They were both on the team. But I met some of my closest friends, playing since I was a little kid. But that was a blast, man. We were traveling all over Texas. We're going to Louisiana, at 6 years old.
Right.
A lot of people. I know my dad. As I got older, he used to tell me, a lot of people thought we were crazy.
Yeah.
Traveling all over the place.
Yeah,
at
that's when it first kind of like Corpus just boom. After that, it skyrocketed.
Yep.
Tournaments every weekend, and everybody's like the Biscuits, man. That's a cool name, and that's where it started. I remember that, man. That was a good memory. So and then they got 2 or 3 teams, and then it just went from there. That's when it got real huge. So after that, you kind of got into your mid-level, and then so you started playing with who's? Was it Sidious, or was it
from the Biscuits? We turned into the Longhorns for a little bit. That was probably maybe 2 or 3 years, and then from there we turned into Sidious.
Sidious, right? Yeah.
And then Sidious was for a little bit. And then once I got to high school, I started playing with the Banditos.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
Banditos.
Yeah. So and then you just, like you said, you stuck to baseball, but you did basketball, and then so once you because you were in Flower Bluff, then you went to Vets, right? In saying that, so then you got into high school. You had a great freshman year, like you said. So sophomore, you did play too, right? Or which year did you miss that you got injured?
Sophomore year, I played basketball.
And you got injured?
Got injured. And then I was able to make it back for baseball season, but it was COVID year anyways. So
oh, yeah. That's right.
The year ended up getting wiped, so it didn't matter.
And at that time, I remember you had committed to Florida your freshman year. Or was it?
Sophomore year, right when the season ended, when they had
the COVID?
Yeah, when they had announced COVID.
So talk a little bit about that. So you were with Banditos. Did you go play in Florida? Did you get noticed there, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, in the summer, my sophomore summer, or it was probably my freshman summer actually, is when they saw me. We had gone to a big tournament in Florida, big tournament in Georgia, probably week-long tournaments. And,
the perfect game, right?
Yeah, perfect game tournaments. Mm-hmm. And I guess they had seen me there. I was getting a lot of, notice from a lot of schools. So when they called, I was like, hey, this is pretty big time, So,
right.
That was a fun process in itself. Got to talk to a lot of the coaches and everything. So
cool. At that time, was it Coach Sullivan still?
Yes, it was. Coach Sullivan and Coach Gerolaman. He's still I think he's the assistant or recruiting coordinator there. Okay. He's still there.
Cool.
So, I mean, the SEC, Florida, you would have, that's a big time LSU, big time conference. So, in that process, you came back, played summer ball, and then you went back to Vets for your junior year. You had a pretty good junior and senior year. So did you change commitments, from Florida to Texas State because of, closer to home, or what was the reason behind that?
So right before my junior year, they had called me and said that they were gonna be cutting down some of my scholarship because they had some guys that had gotten drafted but didn't take it.
Okay.
So they were gonna have to put them back on scholarship.
Scholarship.
Yeah, and then
And of course the COVID year.
right, COVID
They had
year,
guys
so
coming
there was
back, I'm
older
sure.
guys coming back and
Yeah.
everything. So then I just talked to my family and we kind of discussed the money, and it was probably too much. So
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
the
it's a
out of state
prestigious.
tuition is what killed us.
Right. Right.
So then that's when we decided to decommit and
Yep.
open it back up again.
Man, so in saying that, right before we get into Texas State, kind of just throw this in there. So on your spare time, we're gonna go off of baseball a little bit. What do you like to do on your spare time? What's your hobbies? You know, when you're not training for baseball or playing basketball, what do you like to do?
I mean, honestly, there's not a lot of spare time, man.
Yeah.
I wake up, I go work out, go throw.
So yeah,
go
take
hit,
us
right?
through a day.
So
Let's say
a day in the summer
Yeah.
here, you know, when I'm back from summer ball is I wake up, I'll eat some breakfast, I'll usually go work out, and then after I work out, I'll go throw. And then if it's an off day from throwing, which is every 4 days, I'll have an off day coming back from my rehab. I'll go hit on that day, you know,
Right.
Something like that. And then at night is when I have some
Spare
time. So I'll go hang out with some friends maybe, or I'll play video games and we'll hop on.
So how
and
about
just kinda
fishing,
decompress.
hunting? or-
Fishing, I don't do a lot of fishing. I've gotten into
So you-
golf a little bit more
Okay.
recently.
Okay.
I know a
golf
lot
is
of
fun.
guys. I mean, even my sons. Man, I'm like, where y'all going at 4:00 in the afternoon? Well, so the golf course closes at a certain time, so they go walk the golf course and play till dark.
Yeah.
And they're there like every day. I'm like, golly, is they pick? I would have played high school golf if I knew I could do this and that. So I was like,
High school golf
But
is
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So no, that's cool, man. And so, now okay, we're getting back into baseball. So you got your junior year, your senior year. Y'all had a good run. What, your junior year or was it senior year? That's when you had Dalen.
Junior year we lost in round 4. Senior year we lost in round 3.
Okay, so y'all had 2 deep runs, your junior, senior year. So then you came talk to your family, and did Texas State get you on your radar, or did you kind of reach out to them, or how did that go?
I had talked to them.
You had several schools, or just Texas State?
After I decommitted.
After you decommitted.
I had several schools, but I had talked to them before I had committed to Florida, so I already kind of had that connection.
You had the foot in the door.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So I think it's Coach Blakely?
yep.
Okay.
That's the one I talked to. I talked to Coach Blakely, and then it also helped that 2 of my best buddies were already going there, so I'd be comfortable coming in my freshman year.
Right.
And so I think in April of my senior year was when I finally committed there. So that's when I made the choice.
So then you had a little, setback,
Right.
arm. Tell us about that situation and what happened and how did it come about, and what did it do mentally wise to you?
Right. So my senior year, I was pitching against Ray High School, and I think it was the 2nd or 3rd inning. And it's a close game, man. There was a lot of hype for the game.
Right.
This was probably for district, right? So I wanted to, hey, I got to give it my all this game. And so I throw a fastball, and I feel a pop in my elbow, and I'm like, damn,
Right.
Did I just blow my elbow out? And so I was like, I shook it out a little bit, I gathered myself, and I threw another one, and I felt another a smaller one, and I was like, that's probably it, And then he ended up grounding out the short on that pitch, and then I called my coach out. I was like, I felt a pop in my elbow. Came out of the game. We went to go get an MRI. Here in Corpus, and they told me it was just a sprained UCL. Right. I can rehab it. There was a small tear, so I tried rehabbing it, and then I went to Texas State with it, rehabbing. So in the fall, I just ended up hitting, and towards the end of the fall, I was like, I still can't put anything on it. I could long toss, but when I would come back in to throw again, I could never pull down on the ball, and
didn't
put
have
everything behind it,
right? Yeah.
So I was like, I need to go get another MRI, and so I went to go get an MRI in Houston, and they ended up telling me that it was torn and that I needed to get surgery. So, and I had a feeling because it was like
you didn't
something's
feel
wrong
the same.
with my arm,
You didn't
right?
feel the same.
And I need to get this fixed. And I'm a pitcher. I love hitting too, but it's like I love being on the mound.
Definitely.
So
The competitiveness in you want to do both.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like I need to get this fixed up so that I can be at my best for next year. And
So then, what was the feeling like going into that second MRI? Were you already frustrated? Like you said, you kind of knew.
I mean,
you had a sense. Like,
yeah.
Once you got the news, were you just like, man?
I was a little frustrated just because we had probably wasted about 5-6 months trying to rehab it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I knew I probably needed surgery, so I was honestly happy.
Okay with it.
I was happy. I was happy to get it because you hear a lot of the stories of guys coming back and throwing harder. You of course you gotta fix your mechanics as to what caused the injury, but and crush the rehab, get everything stronger. But
and I saw that in the fall. I saw a home run you hit, and you're hitting. So did you kind of think? Did you kind of have like something in the back of your head? Man, maybe I should play, or you just said no, I'm not.
It was a little bit. The thing was, I was gonna have to eventually get my arm fixed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I was like,
But did you?
might as well fix it my freshman year.
Get like your coaches from Texas State. Did they already relate to you like, hey man, you be in the lineup, you're gonna play, or?
They had told me I had a good shot of being the DH that year.
Okay.
If I didn't get the surgery, and of course, they were like, if you need the surgery, then
We'll
go ahead and
redshirt
get it.
you.
We hope you don't need it because we want you to hit.
Yeah.
But, if that's what
Yeah,
think's
do what's best for you.
Right.
Right, right.
If that's what's best for you, go ahead and get that surgery.
So you had surgery when?
October 28th.
Of last year.
2022.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm coming up on
Gonna be a year.
almost 10 months. Yeah.
So you rehab. When did you start throwing again? Are you throwing 100%? Or are you at 90%?
I started throwing 4 months in, and I have about 2 months left of bullpens to do. I'm probably around to 100%. I'm probably truly around 65%. Probably
So you still got a little to ramp up.
Around,
And how you feeling?
I feel great in
Okay.
the bullpens. I haven't had any problems with my elbow.
And you're not throwing
great.
100%. You're just
I'm probably up mid to upper 80s in my bullpen.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think I'm getting there, but it's still
right. You
I'm
still
not
got
putting
more to
everything
go.
on it. I
Right.
still got to let my elbow get accustomed to everything.
Right.
So there's a lot of levels in the
Right.
in the pitching program that I got to clear first before I go to the next one.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So your coach at Texas State, is there a true pitching coach? Do they give you like a schedule to go by, or is this just doctor's orders? Your therapist, or
We have our pitching coach at Texas State is Coach Massengale, and but all of my throwing is
doctor related?
with the doctors.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a paper where I got to follow everything.
Yeah, you got steps.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So I'm sure, and then so you kind of redshirt, but you still got your 4 years eligibility, so now you come back from college, you rehab, you got a little release, right? You got a release, so you go play with Victoria, the Generals in the summer league. I saw that you made the All-Star team, and I saw some hits you did, and saw some videos, So like I said, I know your dad, so follow him and stuff. So how did that come about? And I know it said something that you entered the season late. So tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So I ended up having to go for just the second half of the season because I wasn't cleared to play outfield in the first half. So I had a month to play, and honestly had a blast up there.
Cool.
I kind of found my love for the game again.
Right.
And I had a great time. And it helped that I had one of my other teammates there with me, Damian Whitfield.
Oh, yeah.
So he roomed with me, and
And you're not too far.
Yeah, I wasn't too far
yeah.
either. I was glad that my family could come and watch me play. That means a lot to me.
Right.
That was pretty huge that they could come and watch me again.
Right.
But yeah, and then there was a lot of guys there that I had played with when I was younger.
Okay.
That were there on that team. So it was pretty cool to mesh with them again and hang out with them. And then of course you make new friends. So
Yeah. What is that?
I had a blast.
What is the summer collegiate league like? So are you living in a host family house, or y'all like splitting somewhere? What's the travel like? I know y'all probably play in like Brazos Valley Bombers.
Seguin, right? Seguin.
Yep.
Yeah, like what is the travel scenario? Like give us like the behind the scenes details of
Okay.
the
Yeah.
college leagues.
So we stayed with some host families. Everybody stayed with a host family. Ours was actually pretty cool. We were on a farm.
Oh,
With like 115 acres. They had 40-something cows, a donkey. They had a little pond, so we would go fish on our off days.
Nice.
So they would get us all the food that we needed. So we honestly had it made.
Wow.
That sounds nice.
They gave us a free golf membership.
Vacation and play baseball.
And golf.
Yeah,
there you go.
They had given us a free golf membership, free gym membership.
Wow.
So usually we'd wake up, go to the gym, and then from there we'd go eat and then head to the field for the game. The travel scenario, they actually had a charter bus for us.
Nice.
Cool.
So we were lucky to have that because some of the teams in the league didn't. I know that the Seguin team would have to drive, like the players would have to drive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, that kind of sucks, but we're lucky to have that.
Yeah.
And y'all made the playoffs to play Seguin, right? And y'all was that the championship?
That was the semifinals.
Semifinals.
Yeah.
So I noticed those summer league they last all summer, man.
Yeah, that's a while.
Yeah, but they also say a lot of MLB scouts go watch those late games and stuff, and so we'll jump into that right now. So going back to Texas State, you didn't play, but you would travel with the team, or you would just stay at home games. So how was that like competing? I know y'all competed in the Sun Belt. I know the year before they made the college World Series, regionals, right?
Regional,
so what was that experience like on game day? And every time I'll turn on the game too, they all had a pretty good crowd. And then I remember seeing also Dalen's grand slam or a couple of big home runs. So how was the atmosphere? I know Texas State is a good atmosphere college wise, right? But what was the atmosphere at the baseball game and you being a part of it, even though you weren't out there? And I'm sure you wanted to be out there, right? So.
Right. I mean, I learned a lot this year. So, I mean, even though I didn't get to play, it was kind of nice. I feel like I have an advantage going into this year,
Just studying.
I got my year back, and I kind of know. I have a feel as to what game day looks like, what other teams are bringing in, how to, read the pitchers, all of that. I learned a lot from the game. So the atmosphere was great. It did suck though not being able to play.
Yeah, I'm gonna believe that.
And I was like, dang man, I miss playing.
Yeah,
it was a whole year.
Yeah,
but
especially when you see the Longhorns and
right, it's
TCU's
like,
and
these big games and the crowds. I love playing in front of big crowds.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
What are the perks like of being a college player?
Yeah,
I know Texas State isn't like the big Power 5
right.
There's probably not
Big 12,
tons of money
SEC,
flowing there.
Yeah.
Right. But it's also bigger than your Southland Conference, A&M Corpus, right? So it's like that happy medium.
Yeah, with like the WAC.
Yeah. So what is the what's the gear like? What's the perks like for the people who don't really think about that stuff?
Right.
And tell us about your rides too. Bus, airplane. I mean, did you travel?
I traveled only to our in-state games this year.
Okay.
So out of state, I didn't get to fly. I know they do fly just regular commercial flights though. But the bus trips, we have our own bus. It's got a wrap on it. It says Texas State.
Yeah.
Baseball and all of that. It's very bougie bus.
That's good.
It's nicer than a regular charter bus.
Cool.
So everybody fits in there. Air conditioning's good. Everything. So.
What about
nice.
the team gear? Team apparel.
Gear.
Y'all get gloves.
We
shirts,
do get
practice
gloves,
shirts, stuff like that.
We get batting gloves whenever we need them. We do have a lot of practice shirts. We have our own weight room shirt that we got to wear when we go in there. Hats, they give us a lot of hats. We do get a good amount of gear.
Nice.
So,
and I'm sure with the support y'all got, I'm sure they got good boosters and.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I was just telling we played there this summer, man. And, hey, it's hot. That turf is hot when it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna go for mechanical engineering. So what are your goals? Of course, I mean, you want to get back in the field. Want to competitive. You go straight into fall ball, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all got some fall ball games now and stuff like that. And you want to get out there, compete at your highest level. And so, in thinking of doing that, and you excel at the college level, are you looking forward to wanting to play in the MLB? Is that I'm sure it's a goal of yours and a dream of yours, but is that something you're going to want to do?
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to want to pursue. So I think I'll probably play this year. I am draft eligible this year since I'm so old. I'll be 21 in February.
Right.
But I think I'll probably play this year and then get a good year under my belt. Hopefully I tear it up. You put up some good numbers, and then I think the next year is probably when I look forward to getting.
So
drafted.
you basically want to do 2 years before
2
you
years, and unless I absolutely
need another one, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Or
and
tear it up
hopefully stay
this
injury
year,
free
yeah,
and
right. And if I'm healthy and everything, so
right.
I think.
And so going into major leagues, what do you want to do? Pitch or hit? Play the field.
if I can do both, I'm definitely gonna try to do
The
both.
Ohtani thing,
Ohtani
yeah.
has changed the game completely.
Yeah,
so
man.
I know a lot of kids look up to him, man.
Right.
Right. So if I can do it, then I do
So
it for as long as I can.
so you say your parents, your sister, big support system. So I know your dad. I love his videos. That's and I hear him all the time. So I know he gets excited about it. So how does he been your support system? Your mom, your sister. I know they're at your games and stuff, and you had your injury setback. I'm sure your dad say, "Hey, man, it's all right. Let's go rehab, get to it." And I know your dad; he's a competitor. So how does how have they been your biggest fans, your biggest asset to pursue this?
Right. I mean, my dad's been traveling with me all over the country since we're like when we were 6, starting with the biscuits.
Yeah.
It's been me and him going.
Everywhere. Right.
Georgia, California,
no
Florida,
weekends for you, just no summer.
Louisiana.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
So he's been a huge part of it. And then, when my sister could go, she's been there too. I think there was a span of 3 years where on her birthday we were playing in Florida. So she got to go to Disney
Disney
World for her birthday.
Cool.
Right. So she was getting treated like a princess. My mom had to work a lot when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, she's been able to come to a lot more of the games.
Right.
So she's been able to go to Georgia with us, and now she's, pretty much at every game that she can come to now. In college.
And of course, that's going to pay off. They're if you do make it MLB, that's going to be like, we did that for a reason, and
right.
So that'll be the biggest gift, they can get, right? So yeah, man. So we'll be pulling for you for sure. Marcus, you got anything else, man? I mean,
Yeah, I was hoping you would wear maybe like Team USA or a Texas State shirt, so that way we could see it. Tell us about your Team USA experience.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, and when it was.
So it was when I was 16. I got to go play with the 16U national team development program.
Okay.
So
Is that the same one, Blake Mitchell and?
I think it's a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
I know 12U, 15U, and 18U is when they go travel and play.
Oh, okay,
other
okay.
teams. So
Gotcha.
this was when I was 16. So we didn't go travel and play in a world tournament or anything.
But are y'all just playing against other teams
we're
your
playing-
same age?
We were playing against the other kids that were there with Team USA
Yeah.
too. So they split us into 2 teams. We were there for a week. And that was a blast, honestly.
Yeah.
I met a lot of new people. There's 1 or 2 guys that I'm still super close with from that trip. One of them was playing at Arkansas. His name's Jason Jones.
Okay.
So we still keep in contact, and I think it's so cool, all of the friendships and all of that you can make, along your way growing up playing baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
How do you know how you get selected for that?
So the way I did it was they had a tryout in Portland, I think, for Team USA.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It was for this thing called the NTIS.
Okay.
I think it stands for the National Team Identification Series.
Oh yeah.
And so from
I
there,
think they've had that at Whataburger Field too.
Yeah, they might have done
I
that a
think
couple
I've
times.
seen something like that.
And then they kind of pick a team based on like regions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think ours had like Texas, Louisiana, and maybe 1 or 2 other states. And so I got selected to that team. We went to go play in North Carolina, and then from there is where I got selected to go play with Team USA for the 16U team.
Okay.
Awesome.
So is that concept, is that pretty similar to area code?
I didn't get to do area code much as throughout my high school career, but
Okay.
I think it is kind of the same.
Like same
I think
layout.
there's maybe one more step
Okay.
for USA.
Gotcha.
And there's different ways for USA too. You don't just have to go to that tryout. I know some guys that had gotten selected just because they had seen them before or they had played with Team USA when they were younger.
So in saying that too, have you had any like MLB interest from any scouts or so forth? Even though you haven't seen you play college ball, but like during your high school or your travel, Have you talked to anybody?
I remember in high school I was talking to a couple of scouts, and then I had to fill out some
Paperwork and
some forms
process,
online,
right? Yeah,
with the MLB draft prospect link. But since I got hurt, it hasn't been nothing much. So
you gotta
I gotta kind of reprove myself again,
Right.
And
Right.
they'll start coming in.
Cool, man. Yeah. So, in saying that too, you're South Texas area, bunch of dudes, like you said. They're scattered all over. Like I was telling Marcus last time, I was trying to make a list, for the page, but man, I lost count. I was like at 200 really of players that are playing at the college level and MLB level. So, when you look at that, you see, Kel Emschmoff, Serrano, Trevino, all these guys, and it's like you're probably like, if they can do it, we can do it, right? And I know there's I was talking to you about Walker, and Dalen's gotten some interest too before, so there's still a bunch of guys that can make it to the next level. Lampkin's a very good prospect. I know they were on him too. So, in saying that, also with this, the younger generation, if you know the younger guys, and of course you got your core group that your age, and my son and all your teammates and stuff. So what advice would you give these younger group? Of course, Corpus, Coastal Bend, South Texas, the Valley, still a big deal, baseball, and every year, we still had London and Sinton go back to state again. What advice would you give those guys? Even though like you went through an injury, to don't give up on their dreams, keep working, and it's not a lie, like you said. I don't have a lot of time to do spare time, so. Right. What advice would you give these guys to work and to make their dream a truth?
Right. I'm glad you actually talked about all the talent there is down here in South Texas. I feel like a lot of times a lot of guys go unseen just because how far so south we are. A lot of the scouts will stop in Houston or San Antonio and be good with what they have. So I mean, there is a lot of talent down here. Corpus is a baseball city.
Right.
Always has been since I was a little kid. And any advice for the kids out there is just you got to do a lot of it on your own.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody can make you, want to get better. You're gonna have to spend a lot of hours on your own. Look, YouTube, man. Even YouTube's a huge, a huge
all the drills, the lessons
you could use. I mean, there's.
I mean, why pay all that money when you can just do it yourself?
There's a lot of stuff on the internet. I mean, of course, you want to make sure it's
the correct way,
correct stuff to do. But I mean. You want to learn a new pitch grip, man, go on there and start playing with it. You know? Look up some mechanics, look up some good drills, mobility drills. There's a lot of stuff that goes into making you the player that you are. So it's going to be a lot on you. You got to make sure you have the right people in place to guide you along the way. But
I mean, you nailed it. Like you said, you got to do it on your own. You got to give up parties. You got to give up, fishing, or you got to give up. You got to constantly work, like you say. So. Yeah. So you got anything else, Marcus?
Yeah. Before we close, give us your favorite high school baseball memory while you're at Vets.
Okay.
And then your favorite summer ball memory from any time, and then your favorite college memory so far.
Okay. My favorite high school memory.
And your travel. Start with that.
Yeah.
What was your favorite travel memory?
In high school and growing up, travel ball memory?
Yeah. Work yourself up.
Okay.
Since I was first, and then
okay, let me think. Travel ball. I feel like travel ball. The memories I have is really just over time. I didn't have one set moment, but it's just all the friends and the bonds that I made over every summer.
And now you're playing against most
guys,
of them.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys I'm seeing them. When we go play against other schools, I'll take a picture with them after the game. It's cool to see that they're still doing what I'm doing too. So. Definitely the bonds that were made in summer ball is probably the greatest memory I have. As far as high school goes, my favorite memory is probably my junior year in round 3. We're playing against Ray here at Cavness Field when Dalen hit that grand slam. I was on. That
was a big deal in the video. They got a lot of hits.
That was a huge game, man. We were losing in the last inning by 1 or 2. I can't remember. And we're at the bottom of our lineup, and we get
some way to get to the top.
Guy, I'm like, as long as we can get to the top, I feel like we can win this game. But we had, I think our first batter struck out on a ball that was way below his shins. They rung him up, and we were furious. We're like, no way.
Right.
Our next hitter hadn't gotten a hit in a while, I think, in the whole series. He ends up getting a hit up the middle, and we're like, oh, it has to be. Our next guy is our 9-hole. He ends up getting hit. He gets on base, and we're like, no way, this is happening right now. Like a high school 9-hole, they're batting 220. Right. So we're like, no way, this is happening. Then I come up in the leadoff spot. I end up getting hit too, so it loads the bases for Dalen. And I remember he goes down 0-2 early, and I'm like, dang, man, like, okay, just put something in play right here.
Keep the rally going.
Let's get some, he's next guy up. Ends up, I think, 2 balls, and then he hangs a curveball.
Yep.
And Dalen hit it, and I just remember seeing it in the air, and I was like, no way, dude. And that was the most, I think that's the most excited. Like,
emotion,
everything that was pouring out of me that's ever come from a baseball game. I mean, I remember we came around home, and I got lightheaded in the dugout from screaming so much. Dalen threw up a little bit in the dugout because he was screaming so much. Then he had to go out and close out the 7th inning. So I mean, that's definitely my favorite high school baseball moment, man. That was
cool. I remember that.
In that video,
that was an awesome game.
So in that video, I'm pretty sure Carter was on the team, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure he's like throws his helmet across because he's just so hyped. He's like,
he didn't know what he was doing.
That was definitely a all-time great.
Yeah, that's a great
sports
moment.
That's
a great moment
just to be a part of.
Cool.
And then favorite college moment to date.
I mean, even if it was fall ball, you still played, competition fall ball, right? So I know you did hit a home run, right?
That would probably have to be my favorite college moment. Was my first AB. I got to hit a home run.
Wow,
so
that's cool.
And my family was there to see it.
Oh, there you go.
So
nice.
I really love that my family can watch me play.
Good.
That's definitely a huge part. So that'd probably have to be my favorite.
Sweet.
My favorite college moment.
And then your summer college?
Probably.
Did you hit 2 bombs in one game?
I did hit 2 bombs in one game, and then I think a couple games later, I hit a grand slam, and then I got to rob a home run in the same game. So I think that was probably my favorite.
All right.
That was cool. I've never robbed a home run before, so.
So are you playing outfield now? Outfield. Okay. Cool. Because I remember you being an infielder too, right? So and before we close too, so Coach Yeager, man, I know he's been a big part of your ride, and you still keep in contact with him. Does he text you every once in a while, and does he still keep in touch with you?
Yeah, man, I still talk to him every now and then. We're actually about to go watch his daughter play volleyball.
Oh, there you go.
First year in high school, so we're gonna go ahead and go watch her. But he was a huge part of my growth in high school. He has a lot of knowledge for the game,
right?
So I really got to learn a lot from him.
Yeah,
I truly thought that, I was given one of the best high school baseball coaches in the state of Texas.
Right. I heard he develops players a lot.
He developed us very well. And, I was happy to have him as my coach.
Cool. Sure. Yeah, and he's always following y'all guys on Twitter and stuff. Right. There goes my man. He's cool, man. So no, that's good. That's good to know. Well, shoot, man, and I know you got a bunch of also your ex players you played with too that played college ball too. So yeah, I mean, like you say, all in all, it's just amazing to see how many players from this area are out there playing at the next level and came from the small towns too, from South Texas. So that's what makes this region so special. And like I said, we do this for free. Marcus helped me out with the podcast and stuff, but we try to keep up as much as date to get y'all out there. And there's like a lot of guys that should be recruited also that are not. They don't get to play at the next level. But this is what it's for, and that's why we do this. I love baseball. Marcus loves baseball, so this is our passion. This is why we do this, and gonna continue to do it as long as we can. And as long as my wife don't get mad, or no, but busy schedules and but it's so forth. But we're gonna try our best to keep it going, and what, that's why I want to we're trying to get a college player here, get his experience, and and Marcus got a hold of you, and I had contacted a few guys too, but it was kind of hit or miss, and then Jacob never wants to be. He's a humble dude. He doesn't like to be doing this stuff, but I told him, oh, it's good, but he doesn't agree with me. So, but yeah, man, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and we wish you the best of luck. We'll be following you, of course, and hopefully we got some videos on you, and this year, doing some good stuff for Texas State.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on.
In closing, unrelated, I know of a announcement coming via Jose Trevino and his annual tournament that he puts on.
Is that going to be here? Maybe.
I can't.
Okay.
I don't think I'm allowed to confirm or deny.
Okay, there you go.
But
I was just throwing it out there.
It might be.
Okay, there you go. We have a chance.
And there's something really cool that is
Behind
probably
it.
going to go on with it.
Cool.
So keep an eye out.
And will we bring him on to talk about that?
I would love to get him on. I'm going to text him again. I talked to him.
He's rehabbing too, right?
A week and a half ago. Yeah, he had his wrist surgery. Yeah, him and his tournament coordinator. I've been talking to them a lot. Yeah, so they should be announcing it soon, but I want to put it on everyone's radar.
Cool.
There's an event coming somewhere in December.
Cool.
So be on
And
the
will that
lookout
include
that.
for the teams here that could play, or is it just
For anybody?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So
that's awesome, man.
yeah,
Good.
so keep an eye out for that, and any other notable stuff, feel free to let us know, and we'll share it.
Yep.
We'll keep you guys in the loop on our end as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah. X, we appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
Best of luck this year at Texas State. Hope your rehab continues to go well and you're back at 100%.
Yeah, man. All right. Thank
Sweet.
you, man.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you.